Imagine waking up in a world where headlines about the next scientific breakthrough evoke the same anxiety as reports about the latest missile launch. This is not the stuff of speculative fiction or distant dystopia. It is the reality unfolding in the heart of the Middle East today. In a region already marked by decades of volatility, a new chapter has begun. One where scientific innovation, rather than sheer military might, has become the ultimate weapon in an intensifying geopolitical contest. The age-old rivalry between Iran and Israel has evolved, moving far beyond conventional battlefields and into the corridors of laboratories and the minds of scientists. It is the early days of July in the year 2025. In Tehran, a palpable sense of anticipation hangs in the air. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, steps up to the podium, his words echoing well beyond Iran's borders. With steady conviction, he declares, "Our scientists will show Netanyahu what they are capable of." This is not mere rhetoric. It marks a seismic shift in how power is wielded in the region, a transition from generals and spies to scientists and engineers. To understand the gravity of this moment, let's revisit the origins of this fraught rivalry. The Iranian Revolution of the year 1979 didn't just upend a monarchy. It redrew the geopolitical map. Since that pivotal year, relations between Iran and Israel have been defined by a cocktail of suspicion, ideological opposition, and open hostility. Iran's pursuit of nuclear technology, its financial and logistical support for groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, and its ambition to be a regional heavyweight have pitted it squarely against Israel, whose own security and identity are deeply intertwined with these threats. For over 4 decades, an invisible war, a so-called shadow war, has raged. This has involved everything from cyber attacks and targeted assassinations of scientists to sabotage missions and proxy battles stretching across Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq. Both countries have become master chess players, each move calculated to outmaneuver the other. Dr. Ariane Tabatabai of the Council on Foreign Relations puts it succinctly. Iran's investment in missile and drone technology is a clear effort to deter aggression and rewrite the rules of regional engagement. In previous years, Iranian scientists were considered vulnerable, often finding themselves in the crosshairs of covert operations. The world remembers the chilling assassinations of several Iranian nuclear physicists during the 2010s and into the early 2020s. Yet, adversity bred resilience. Today, a new generation of Iranian scientists is doing more than surviving. They are leading a scientific renaissance, transforming Iran's research community into an essential pillar of national defense and pride. The summer of 2025 is a whirlwind of both scientific achievements and military maneuvers. On the 10th of July, Iranian state media triumphantly reported the successful test of an advanced, long-range radar system, capable of detecting incoming threats at distances previously thought unattainable by regional standards. Only 2 days later, Iran inaugurated a state-of-the-art research facility dedicated to advancing drone technology. According to Dr. Raz Zimt of the Institute for National Security Studies, Iran's technological focus signals a strategic pivot towards asymmetric warfare, leveraging innovation to counter conventional disadvantages. Simultaneously, on the 14th of July, the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, confirmed that its inspectors remain stationed at critical Iranian nuclear sites. This ongoing oversight underscores the international community's acute awareness of what is at stake. In parallel, the Iranian parliament approved record-breaking funding for cyber warfare initiatives, a move widely interpreted as a direct response to repeated Israeli cyber offensives that have previously crippled power grids, fuel pipelines, and communication networks inside Iran. This scientific surge is unfolding against a backdrop of mounting violence and deepening mutual distrust. In late June, Israel launched a series of coordinated strikes on Iranian military and nuclear installations, aiming to neutralize what it sees as existential threats. Iran's retaliation was swift and overwhelming. 22 waves of missile attacks targeted Israeli-held territories, including strategic sites in the occupied regions. The Islamic Revolution Guards Corps Aerospace Force spearheaded these counterstrikes under the codename Operation True Promise 3, signaling that Iran is both willing and able to escalate if provoked. The United States, too, has become further entangled in this conflict. Following Israeli operations, American forces carried out strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities in Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan on the 22nd of June. Iran's response was immediate, launching a barrage of missiles at the Al Udeid airbase in Qatar, the largest American military installation in West Asia. These tit-for-tat exchanges forced a fragile ceasefire into effect by the 24th of June, but beneath the surface, suspicion and tension simmered relentlessly. In this charged climate, Iran's leadership, buoyed by a string of scientific achievements, projects a new sense of confidence. The message is unequivocal. Iran refuses to remain a passive target. Dr. Paul Pillar of Georgetown University warns, escalating rhetoric and rapid technological advances raise serious risks of miscalculation and unintended escalation. His caution is echoed by many, who fear that the growing sophistication of military technology could push the region past a dangerous threshold. The tangible consequences are already apparent. International airlines, wary of the growing instability, have begun diverting flights to avoid Iranian airspace. The once busy skies over Iran now see far fewer commercial planes, a stark reflection of global anxiety over safety and stability. Within Iran, research institutes and military facilities have become fortresses. Armed patrols, surveillance drones, biometric checkpoints, and round-the-clock electronic monitoring have become the new reality for the country's scientists and engineers. Recognizing the gravity of these developments, Russia has stepped forward as a cautious mediator. On the 9th of July, Russian officials urged both Iran and Israel to show restraint, warning that further escalation could trigger a regional conflagration with global repercussions, including disruptions to energy markets and the risk of drawing in other world powers. President Pezeshkian of Iran, speaking on the 15th of July, reaffirmed Iran's unwavering resolve to defend its sovereignty, making clear that Iran will not be cowed by external threats. But what do these scientific accomplishments truly mean for the region's balance of power? Are we on the cusp of an era where intellectual prowess outpaces brute force? Or are we simply raising the stakes, setting the stage for an even more perilous confrontation? Let's examine Iran's current technological toolkit. The latest advancements in long-range radar have dramatically improved Iran's ability to detect, track, and potentially intercept incoming aerial threats, effectively complicating Israel's strategic calculus when planning airstrikes. The newly established Drone Research Center positions Iran at the forefront of unmanned aerial vehicle development. Already, Iranian drones have proven themselves on the battlefields of Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, providing not only reconnaissance and surveillance, but also precision strike capabilities at a fraction of the cost of manned aircraft. The proliferation of Iranian-made drones has even begun to shift the balance in neighboring conflicts, as these technologies find their way into the arsenals of regional allies and proxy forces. Perhaps the most consequential development is Iran's meteoric rise in cyber warfare. Over the past decade, Iran has cultivated a cadre of elite cyber specialists, many trained domestically in response to international sanctions and academic isolation. These operatives have launched sophisticated attacks against a wide range of targets, from financial networks and public utilities to government databases and sensitive military systems. Dr. Alex Vatanka of the Middle East Institute notes, Iran's scientific progress is part and parcel of its wider geopolitical ambitions. Each breakthrough is both a shield and a sword, projecting power far beyond its borders. The shadow war between Iran and Israel has become a proving ground for these emerging technologies. Iranian cyber units have reportedly targeted Israeli infrastructure, including water treatment facilities and mass transit systems, in attacks that have caused disruptions but also revealed the resilience of Israeli cyber defenses. In turn, Israel is widely believed to have deployed advanced malware, such as the infamous Stuxnet worm, which in the early 2010s set back Iran's uranium enrichment program by years. This tit-for-tat cyber conflict is characterized by constant adaptation, with each side developing countermeasures almost as quickly as new threats emerge. Beyond the immediate theater of conflict, Iran's scientific momentum is reshaping its domestic landscape. Military-driven research and development inevitably spill over into the civilian sector, creating a ripple effect of innovation. For instance, the miniaturization of drone components has accelerated advances in commercial applications, ranging from precision agriculture to disaster relief and logistics. Techniques developed to secure military communications have been adapted by Iranian businesses to protect sensitive information in the increasingly digital economy. In the medical field, investments in dual-use technologies have contributed to new diagnostic tools and telemedicine platforms, expanding access to health services, particularly in rural regions. Yet the relentless pursuit of technological superiority is a double-edged sword. The very innovations that bolster national security can also create new vulnerabilities. A single cyber breach could paralyze essential services, disrupt global supply chains, or even trigger financial panic. Dr. Nasan Rafati of the International Crisis Group warns, the risk of accidental escalation is ever present. Without robust de-escalation mechanisms, a minor incident in cyberspace or on the battlefield could rapidly spiral into a regional or even global crisis. Diplomacy, though battered, is not entirely absent from the scene. Russia's calls for restraint and the ongoing presence of IAEA inspectors offer a faint but persistent hope that dialogue will prevail over confrontation. President Pezeshkian's administration has signaled a willingness to engage in negotiations without preconditions, but the deep mistrust between Tehran and Jerusalem remains a major obstacle. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu maintains a hardline stance, refusing to concede any ground. Dr. Sanam Vakil of Chatham House argues that Foreign Minister Araghchi's defiant statements are intended to rally domestic support while projecting strength to adversaries abroad. Meanwhile, the shadow war continues unabated. Covert operations, cyber offensives, and proxy skirmishes unfold daily just below the threshold of outright war. Dr. Paul Pillar observes, the Middle East could easily become a flashpoint. A single miscalculated cyber attack or missile launch could ignite a conflict that draws in regional and global actors, disrupts energy supplies, and sends financial markets into chaos. The world watches anxiously, aware that the balance is exceedingly delicate. Amid this maelstrom, there are also opportunities. Should stability be restored, Iran's substantial investments in research, particularly in drone and cyber technologies, could pivot toward civilian uses, fueling economic growth and enhancing the quality of life. Domestic industries stand to benefit from military research and development, whether in advanced manufacturing, communications, or sustainable energy. The technical skills honed under the pressures of conflict might lay the groundwork for a new era of homegrown innovation, not only for Iran but for the Middle East at large. However, uncertainty continues to dominate the landscape. International airlines persist in rerouting flights, with some estimates suggesting that up to 100,000 travelers each week are affected by the closure of Iranian airspace. Global markets remain jittery, with oil prices fluctuating in response to fears of supply interruptions. The international business community is on high alert, fully aware that the outcome of this technological arms race could reshape global supply chains, energy security, and investment patterns for years to come. For ordinary people, those living far from the power corridors of Tehran, Jerusalem, or Washington, the effects are tangible. A successful cyber attack on a major shipping port could delay the movement of goods, affecting everything from automobile production in Europe to the assembly of electronics in East Asia. Spikes in oil prices, prompted by regional instability, directly translate to higher fuel costs and increased prices for everyday consumer goods. Even the security of personal data is at stake, as malware developed for state-level cyber warfare sometimes leaks out into the global digital ecosystem, putting individuals and businesses at risk. For innovators, entrepreneurs, and business leaders, the Iranian case provides a powerful lesson. Crisis can be a catalyst for technological advancement. Isolated by sanctions and as a result of diplomatic estrangement, Iranian scientists have developed indigenous solutions, fostering progress that would have required decades under normal peacetime conditions. However, this accelerated innovation carries significant risks. The challenge for all countries is to channel scientific progress not just into defense, but into avenues that enhance societal well-being and cooperation. Let's draw a historical parallel. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union poured enormous resources into scientific research, leading to advances in fields from aerospace to computing. Many of these technologies, originally developed for military purposes, eventually found civilian applications, revolutionizing industries and daily life. Yet the arms race also brought the world perilously close to catastrophe more than once, with near misses in nuclear standoffs and accidental escalations. Today, the Middle East stands at a similar crossroads, where technological prowess can be both a shield and a spark, protecting, but also potentially endangering, the fabric of peace. As we approach the conclusion of this unfolding story, the central question persists. Will Iran's technological momentum cement its status as a regional powerhouse, or will it set the stage for a new era of heightened instability and conflict? The answer, like the science itself, is multifaceted. On one hand, Iran's scientific achievements undeniably bolster its deterrence and regional influence, granting it tools to shape the strategic environment. On the other, the risks climb in tandem with technological advancement. If diplomacy falters, the region could find itself on the brink of disaster. Beneath the headlines and official pronouncements lies a profound, often overlooked truth. Behind every missile test, every radar installation, and every line of code, there are thousands of Iranian scientists, engineers, and technicians. Many are the survivors or protégés of colleagues who were lost in the shadow war. Each time a scientist trains the next generation, it is a statement of perseverance and hope. It is a quiet investment in the future, one that could, in time, tip the balance not toward further conflict, but toward peace and prosperity. The decisions made in the coming weeks and months will shape not only the destinies of Iran and Israel, but the trajectory of the entire Middle East. And, thanks to the interconnected nature of global economics and technology, the broader world as well. The stakes truly could not be higher. As citizens, we may feel powerless to shift the course of such grand events, but by staying informed, by supporting dialogue and cooperation, we can all contribute to a broader conversation about restraint, responsibility, and the wise use of scientific discovery. So what comes next? Will the year 2025 be remembered as the turning point when science tipped the scales toward lasting security? Or as the moment when unchecked technological rivalry unleashed forces beyond anyone's control? The answer will be written not just by politicians, generals, or scientists, but by the collective choices of humanity. Our future security depends on how we choose to wield the power of innovation. If you found this analysis illuminating, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, in this era of